السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. Brothers and sisters in Islam, today inshallah, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be diving into the Quran from the quarter juz of the 7th, one quarter into the 7th juz, all the way halfway to the 8th. And alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, the Quran, its recitation is a light. The Quran is a nur. We have an opportunity in this month to inculcate into our lives this divine light, so that throughout the course of the year that divine light will shine through our words, our actions, our character, our demeanor, and it will affect and impact those around us, inshallah. Because Islam is a path of life wherein we are exposed to a whole new world that the people of the world are not exposed to. A person who is confined to this world and what the world has is at the mercy of what's apparent. If they see no rain, they can say that there's going to be drought and so things will happen. Because their faith revolves around what is the seen. But as people of faith, we are defined by the verse, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Our faith revolves around the unseen. That we're in a time when all physical or materialistic resources are exhausted, we do not express worry or concern because we know that the unseen treasures of Allah are about to open. The treasures that have been running the world for us all along are about to open and continue. وَإِذْ غَدَوْتَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ تُبَوِّئُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ مَقَاعِدَ لِلْقِتَالِ was recited a few nights ago about the battle of Uhud. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is taking his companions from Medina, stopping one night and moving towards Uhud. We know that there was a lot that had transpired. People had turned back on him, and he was making the lines, and the Sahaba were now getting ready for a second war in the history of Islam. At this moment, the pioneer Muslims knew one thing, that it's not our numbers that will defeat our enemies, nor is it the artillery that we have or the absence thereof that will dictate our victory or our defeat. It is what happens when the sky opens up. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rips open the sky and the angels descend. If you go to Badr, inshallah, if you do go to Medina, inshallah, take a trip to Badr. There is a confined area by walls where the battle place was, the heart of the battle place, and also where many of the graves are of the companions. A little over a dozen. And Masjid Arish is where the Prophet ﷺ's camp was. And there is, next to the battlefield, this huge mountain. But it is sand. It's not a sand dune because sand dunes tend to have a sequence. This is a standalone mountain of dust. It is said that this was the area where two individuals were sitting and watching this war play out. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deployed Jibreel alayhi salam on his horse's name is Hayzoom. And Jibreel alayhi salam descended from the skies with the angels. It said when they saw the unseen, their hearts ripped open and they died on the spot. And that mountain rested asunder and became into sand. What happens when Allah does things is the faith we are here to build today in this month of Ramadan. I give up faith on the seen. I give up faith on the means. I give up faith on what the world says. I bring my faith in the unseen into Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let the world fail you. Let the means fail you. Let the people around you fail you. Allah will never fail you. But how do we connect? That's what Surah An'am is about today, brothers and sisters. Surah An'am is known as the cattle. This is the surah that we will be beginning with today, and we will continue, inshallah, to the end of it by tonight, inshallah. 6 points I want to point out tonight, since it's Friday. One of the last verses we recited last night was when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, but actually it's stated as if He already has, interrogated Isa alayhi salam. أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ لِلنَّاسِ اتَّخِذُونِي وَأُمِّيَ إِلَهَيْنِ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. O Isa, did you tell the people to make you and your mom a god? Allah is going to interrogate the Prophet. And Allah is depicting this story in the Quran because it is going to happen with so much assurance that as if it's happened. أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ. Did you say? It is past tense, but it's going to be depicted it's being depicted as if it has happened only because there's no doubt in it's going to happen. So he tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I only told them what you told me to tell them. أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبَّكُمْ وَكُنْتُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا مَا دُمْتُ فِيهِمْ. I told them to worship Allah who's their Lord and my Lord. I was a witness on them so long I was alive. فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ عَلَيْهِمْ. When you took my soul, you're the caretaker of them. Now, I want to pitch this story because the next verse hits home. After all that Isa alayhi salam is saying to Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is expressing His anger on the fact that they made up this claim that Isa the son of Mary and Mary are gods aside from Allah. Isa alayhi salam says, إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ. If you punish them, O Allah, they're still your servants. It doesn't matter how far a person goes from Allah. It doesn't matter how wicked they become on this earth. It doesn't matter how far the stench of their evil and wickedness rotates around the world. إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. If you punish them, Allah, they're still your servants. And if you forgive them, you can forgive them. I.e. the mercy of Allah, as I spoke about this afternoon in the khutbah. Never give up on the mercy of Allah. And never create a scenario for anyone. And I want you to understand the generalization here. Anyone in any given time that they should be deprived from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take this foolishness out of our homes that our kids will be deprived from Allah's mercy or punished if they do wrong. Take this foolishness out of our societies that if someone runs away from Allah, that Allah will strike them with lightning and kill them. According to what I said this afternoon, according to one of the claims of the Sahaba, that Allah's mercy will be so rampant on the Day of Judgment that even Iblis mal'oon will hope for Allah's forgiveness on that day. This is a verse that reflects mercy, and that is why in this surah, going into the surah number 2, in verse number 12, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. Allah has prescribed mercy on Himself. What is a prescription? What is a prescription? Someone has a problem. A doctor gives a prescription. Go and start this. Go and get this. A prescription is to remedy a problem, to better a condition. Allah has no problem, na'udhu billah. Allah has no condition, a'udhu billah. But for you and I to understand His love, He says, كَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. He has prescribed mercy on Himself. So the notion of punishment has to go, and the notion of mercy has to come forth. رَحْمَتِي سَبَقَتْ غَضَبِي is what Allah wrote for Himself. That my mercy surpasses my anger. The whole world could reject Allah at this moment. The whole world could stand up and curse Allah at this moment. The whole world could come together and burn this place down. Allah's mercy is still going to be on them. Because Allah is waiting that my servant will turn around now. My servant will repent now. My servant will understand now. My servant will come back to me now. As long as there is a breath in your soul, in your body, and as long as a part of your soul is still connected to your body, know that Allah's forgiveness is there for you. Recalling those unseen forces that we began our talk with today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 59, وَعِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ لَا يَعْلَمُهَا إِلَّا هُ. When you get fed up of the world and its people, I think it's a good thing. Because it's time now to turn your attention to the one who will never mess you up. He will never cheat you. He will never cut you short. And He will never disappoint you. وَعِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ. Miftah is key. Mafatih is keys. He has the possession of keys. The keys of what? Unseen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's treasures. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's treasures, my dear brothers and sisters. He has the keys. Imagine what is behind those treasures. If you want to comprehend the treasures of humanity, the only person whose treasures start making sense to me is Qarun. He had over 100 camels that had the keys of his treasures. 100 camels holding the keys of his treasures. Where was his treasures and how great were his treasures? But those treasures could not help him. They couldn't protect him. And they still can't help him. فَخَسَفْنَا بِهِ وَبِدَارِهِ الْأَرْضِ. Allah is saying we took him and everything down. We took him down into the ground. The earth swallowed him. Allah is telling you and I, when you see Bill Gates, when you see people who have bank balances that you would drool over, imagine the bank balance of Allah, the treasure of Allah. He is telling you, I have the keys of the unseen. Oh believers, where are you running? When Allah unlocks the unseen for you, the whole world will rest asunder. The whole world will stop. Nothing could harm us if Allah wants to protect us, and nothing could help us if Allah wants to harm us. It is time that the Muslim Ummah stop believing in themselves. Stop believing in their powers. Stop believing in their means and say, oh Allah, in this month, we ask you to shake those keys once more. We ask you to unlock those treasures now. And we ask you to take over the affairs of this world. We will submit to you. Rather, we will surrender to you. You do what you need to do because we cannot do anything. The question is, do we want those keys? The question is, are we interested in what Allah has? If not, continue hitting your heads against the wall. In verse number 76, Allah tells us how you can get those keys. He gives us the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, who was born in the family of idol worshippers. People say it's due to the environment. The environment is poison. What can we do? Our kids are born in America. It's bad. Here is a boy that's born in the home of idol worshippers. His father is the one who makes the idols. His father is the one who profits on these idols. Azhar. And here is this boy saying, why do you worship what you make with your hands? That can't be God. So what did he do? He went out on this quest, this journey to find Allah. Fellow Muslims, if you want those keys to open locks, let's go find Allah in this month. Let's go find Allah. فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلُ رَأَى كَوْكَبًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. When night fell, he saw stars. He goes, that's God. I see God. He's so beautiful. But guess what? It didn't last too long. He had a moment of sorrow. فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ, then he saw the moon. That's bigger and it's beautiful. That must be God. Because it's something that human hands have not made. Forget making. You can't access it with your hands. But the moon also went its course and it set. But when he turned around, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسِ, he saw the sun. He goes, that is God. How many hurdles did he have to pass in himself to find his Allah? He didn't give up. He said, I want my Allah today. And when the sun put him in a state that he gave up hope on the sun also. إِنِّي وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي فَطَرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Okay, my God isn't the stars, it isn't the moon, it isn't the sun, but I now surrender to the one who's created the heavens and the earth. Fatir means someone who creates without a blueprint, without tools, without materials. He made it and he made it perfect. He went on his quest. He became Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. Not only was he a prophet, not only was he from Ulul Azmi min ar-Rusul, the great prophets, not only is he the father of what we call the Abrahamic faith, he was a friend of Allah. That Allah not only showed the keys, Allah unlocked his treasures. He is in a fire. The fire is not burning him. Why? Because the treasure of Allah has now been unlocked for him. He is told to slaughter his son. He is doing everything his son commanded. Oh my father, take off my shirt. So when you take it home, mom will not see blood on it and cry. Oh my father, sharpen the knife so it could be done quickly. Oh my father, tie my hands and my feet so that you can fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now he's there. He's rubbing that blade against his neck and nothing is happening. Why? Because the treasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had opened once again. So in the Surah An'am, Allah is teaching you and I, if you want mafatihul ghaib, if you want Allah to unlock the treasures, and I swear by Allah, if you take the entire universe, that which we have explored, that which our Hubble telescopes have seen, that which our satellites have taken pictures of, that is only a fraction. Let us multiply that by 1 billion, and now let's make that Allah's creation. Take that 1,000,000,001 creation of Allah. It is not equivalent to what's behind one key of Allah's treasures. Subhanallah. We have underestimated who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. This is a month to realize who He is. If you and I, the holders of the Quran, cannot realize who Allah is, who are we? What are we? A Muslim isn't a person who holds a title. A Muslim is a person who leads humanity to better. But there's one condition. If you want the mercy of Allah, and you want to unlock the treasures of Allah, and you want to gain closeness to Allah, Surah An'am teaches us a very simple thing, brothers and sisters. What you put in your body will define your connection with Allah. The one thing that we as Muslims in America have become very loose on is food. We eat anything from anywhere. This surah explains to us the importance of eating what is lawful, what is right. We need to do away with these excuses. We need to do away with the excuses that we make to eat the food that isn't lawful. Because when unlawful food comes into your stomach, it ultimately becomes your blood. That blood becomes your flesh. That flesh is a piece of you. When that's a piece of you, it will start making you think different, do different, be different. Food is a very useful tool to get to Allah, and it's also a detrimental hazard. It could be the barrier between you and your Allah. Halalan tayyiba means something that is an animal which you can eat. It is an animal that was raised and processed, killed according to the right way. And nothing was given to it prior to its slaughter or post-slaughter that could be harmful to you. Study your food. Stop making excuses. Food is killing us in America, not poverty. And I've said this challenge in my class, and I'm just going to let you all know, there's a class called Holistic Lifestyle Coaching, modeled by the Quran. It's where we study the map of the Quran, and we try to connect physically with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want that connection. Inshallah, we will be starting the second round of it in September. Next week, inshallah, we will open registration for that. Alhamdulillah, thus far in this year's class, we had over 200 registrations. And alhamdulillah, the class happens once a month. And this was a topic we discussed at length. Our class is 4 hours long. I will ask all of you, stop using the people of the book's claim to eat Burger King and Chick-fil-A. If anyone here can prove to me Chick-fil-A is halal, I'll step down. I have studied food and ingredients for over a decade. Stop ruining your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because I'll tell you what it does. And that's my final word. And that's the first verse of the 8th juz. Verse number 111. وَلَوْ أَنَّنَا نَزَّلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ وَكَلَّمَهُمُ الْمَوْتَى. If we were to reveal the angels to those people, when you have wrong food in your body, you become complacent and you have a demeanor of denial and also a challenging demeanor. You challenge, yeah right, if the religion is true, prove it. Allah is saying here, if we were to send down angels to them, and if the dead were to rise and speak to him, they will not believe. I.e., the hearts become so hard. The mind becomes so deviant that the truth doesn't matter anymore. We are living in a time where the denial and open rejection of the truth is rampant. Wake up, fellow Muslims. In this surah, Allah told you, His mercy is guaranteed. His keys are ready for you. If you want to open them, you need to pursue Him. But if you want to pursue Him, make sure you go to Him with the right body. Because with haram nourishment, our du'as are not accepted. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, a person comes, they're distorted, disheveled hair, they have dust on their clothes, they raise their hands and say, oh my Allah, but his food is haram, his drink is haram. فَأَنَّا يُسْتَجَابَ لَهُ. The Prophet ﷺ said, how will your dua be accepted? How will your dua be accepted? If the Prophet ﷺ is telling us this, it is time we open our eyes and realize that food plays a pivotal role in what makes us and what breaks us. So tonight, as we listen to these verses from the quarter of the 7th juz to halfway into the 8th juz, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to reflect on a pure heart, on a pure stomach, through pure nourishment, so that we can gain the unseen treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so that the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could wrap on this entire earth and on this entire universe, and that closeness to Allah is the pleasure that we all feel. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.